Hi and welcome to the Gemhawks YouTube channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. For the free wire tutorial today, we're going to work on a pendant with a suspended crescent moon. Now, I am somewhat obsessed with moons and stars in the form of jewellery, clothing, decor, everything really. So let's take a closer look at this project and then I'll show you how to make one. Here's our project for today, the Suspended Crescent Moon. I've used 2 gauges of wire, some 4mm tiger's eye and a gloriously silky obsidian crescent moon. Now mine is a drilled cap, but I haven't used that drill hole as you can see, so you could either use one that isn't drilled or you could fill that in if you preferred. I've gone for an extended and kind of a quirky drop to that pendant. I'm going to show you a more plain finish bail up at the top towards the end of today's tutorial, but if you want something a bit funky then I can always make this on a future tutorial. So let's pop that one down. For the demonstration today I've got the most gorgeous Sakura agate crescent moon which we can work with today, and I have some more of those 4mm beads. Now whilst you can use whichever beads you want to, I would say 4mm is probably the largest I would go in terms of size. You can bring that down if you prefer to. The only proviso would be that you would need to be able to get some heavy gauge wire through the middle of those beads. So for the frame today we're going to be working with 1.25mm or 16 gauge wire. And I have in my hand a 12-inch length. And I'm going to just make sure that that central portion is really warmed through. Again, it's a cold day here in the UK, and that doesn't really help with getting beautiful smooth lines in a slightly heavier wire. So the central section is where we're going to start working today, and I'm going to grab a round form which is a little smaller than my crescent moon, and I'm just going to fold those 2 ends over. Now if you have one that's the right size, all well and good, but if you don't then you can always size it up or size it down slightly, whichever material you have available to work with really. So let's just pop that down on the board and put away the mandrel. That was a 1-inch mandrel, so it's a little bit too small. So what we're going to do is very, very softly make sure that we've got that perfect round. You could put the mandrel back in to get that, but because we warmed the wire, we've got a little bit of flexibility. And we're just going to open that out slightly. The reason I'm showing you this rather than finding a larger material to use is I want you to see that you don't have to have all of the specialist tools, you don't have to have lots of things around the house that are an absolute perfect fit. You will be able to get away with it for the most part. So I'm just going to turn that over a little bit and then size that moon inside. Now we are looking for a little bit of a gap, so we want the circular form to be just a tiny bit larger than the arc created by the outside of that crescent moon. So this one isn't drilled, it's chubby on both sides, but you can use a flat backed cab if you prefer. So I'm just going to make sure that that's good and rounded at the top, and I'm not going to put an upright on it until we've done a little bit more of the work involved. I'm now going to unspool from my reel about 2 feet, 24 inches, 60 centimetres or so, of some 0.6mm gauge or 22 gauge wire. So I'm just going to pop that down on the board for a second whilst I put the reel out of the way. I'm very clumsy, especially today. What we're going to do is to decide whether we want to sit our crescent on the left or on the right. For some reason, I always like to see them on the left. Don't know why. Maybe that's just how they were in my childhood images. Not entirely sure, really. So let's pop the moon down for a second. I'm going to find the approximate centre of my lighter 0.6 or 22 gauge wire. And what I'm going to do to make life slightly easier is just draw away the upper of those 2 wires. Now this is slightly open here, and that's just to make life for you a little bit easier as we move through. Now I'm going to imagine that I'm going to sit my moon just slightly backwards so that it's tilted. You can of course make that sit perfectly upright, but the reason we're not putting the bail bend in just yet, and that's where we decide where the bail hangs from, the reason I'm not doing that just yet is because you can kind of decide when you get there, so don't worry about it for the moment. What we're going to do in the middle of our lighter wire, around about halfway up on the side that you want to attach the moon, is we're going to wrap 3 times around that frame. So I'm just going to draw the wire down and around, So I'm going to go all the way around, but then I'm going to make sure that it goes through the centre. So you can speed this up, but I just want to show you the pathway to begin with. So we're going to get 3 visible wraps just on the outside of this round form. You can push that through the centre if you prefer, like so, and just pull that from the rear of the design. Scooch those up so you get really nice, neat, tidy wraps going on. So the first thing that we're going to do is to add a bead, and that's going to give us some kind of connection to the rounded form. So if I just take the upper of the 2 wires that are attached, it's a little bit kinked, so hopefully that will still go through one of my beads. If not, I've got enough spare to just kind of throw that away, trim it a little bit. I'm going to pop the bead into position against the outside of that rounded frame. The finer 0.6 or 22 gauge is coming from underneath the round frame. So I'm going to pinch my bead into position and then draw the tail all the way round, and then I'm going to wrap the frame again 3 times. That's twice. So there are 3 visible wraps now. And let's just tighten up those spirals. I'm going to do that by putting one side of the pliers to the top as you're looking, one side to the underneath on opposite diagonal corners, and just compress very gently. So that is a great place to start. Now the next part of this design is going to be not difficult but fiddly. So I've brought the fine wire around underneath. I'm just going to pull that through for a second, and I'm working on the left or lower side at the moment. You might need to just adjust your frame as you go to make sure you're happy. Because my finer wire is underneath, I'm going to pop my cab on top, and then I'm going to bring the tail of wire all the way around it. Now I need to tilt it on its back to grip a hold of it. This is the first part, which is the most infuriating part. Things will wiggle around just a little bit. So please forgive that minor intrusion while the dogs had a bit of a bark. What we need to do is to make sure that we grip firmly around that moon shape in approximately the middle, across its belly as it were. And what we're then going to do is take that finer wire all the way over the top of the cab, and it will twist. For at least the next 3 wraps it's going to move around. It's not a difficult tutorial today, but it's a bit fiddly. So I'm going to pinch that into position. Bring the tail of the wire around the frame. Now the first section, you just need to make sure you've got really good tension, so there's no gaps or bagging around that wrap. As the moon moves, it becomes baggy, so you'll need to just make sure that you'll have to push that back into position in a moment. So I'm going to wrap 3 more times around that frame, or rather to give 3 visible wraps. So that's a second and a third visible wrap now. Get that nice and tight. So let's give that a bit of a squish. So what we need to do now, because we're wrapping in 2 directions from the start point, to set the beads is going to be really easy in one direction, but to keep the same look, which is where there's a stripe above or to the right, and then it's hidden round the back on the left or the lower side. To replicate that, what we're going to need to do is to put a little bend in that wire as it sticks away from the frame before we add that next bead. So again, these are 4mm. I've used 8 or so in my demonstration piece, but I have more available. So to replicate the look of this wrap, which is wrapping beads to an outside of a frame, what we're going to need to do, as I say, is imagine that length of wire that you can see visibly here. That's the length that you'll need to allow before you make that little bend. So if it's not quite enough, you can just pull that away, straighten it through, take that bend a little further, and then allow, don't worry about that, we'll get to it in a second, allow that bead to sit against the frame. So that's just a little bit too much space. So push it along, draw the wire down, and I think that looks good. So I'm going to wrap 3 times around the frame now. And in this way, you'll be able to get a similar look to your beaded wraps all the way through. So let's take that through. Make sure you don't pull the frame out of shape whilst you're getting some tension into the wrap. Let's just tighten that up slightly. And now you will need to get your moon back into the same position. So I think it was, just check which way up it was, because there may be some small variances in the shape of that moon. I'm going to try and keep these wraps relatively close together. Make sure that you've got that same tension, so it pays to remember whereabouts you wrapped on the surface. Now what I'm going to do is take the tail all the way around underneath the cab again, up through the middle of the whole design. Get some nice warmth in it to make sure I can get a good straight strong line. Push those together, and then again I'm going to wrap 3 times around just the frame, managing to catch my pliers on the way. So these don't have to sit exactly side by side, you don't have to have wrapping all the way around. So there I've got my visible wraps sorted. Tighten up that coil, and now I will want to add a bead in exactly the same way. So it will be exactly the same technique as we've just done here. I'm going to show you in the easy direction now. Your moon will start to sit just a little bit better. So let's bring that around over the top of the moon. Let's see if we've got the right number of wraps showing. We do. We've got 3 visible wraps. Tighten that little coil up and then push the wire down over the surface of the moon and bring it firmly and straight underneath, back to the outside margin of your design. So let's wrap 3 times around that frame, and it's just a case of taking your time. It does pay to work with that 16 gauge 1.25mm wire for the frame, otherwise it's very easy to move things out of the way. So I've got 3 visible wraps. So this is the easy direction of adding beads to the frame, and at the moment you will be able to just move those around just a little bit if you need to. Get that tail of wire out of the way, just to make sure that you're getting a good grip on that crescent moon. So let's add in a bead on the easy side. Slide that down into position, and you can see that it's easier because you simply put the bead against the frame, hold it in position, and then wrap around just the frame 3 times. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Tighten up those wraps, and then you will continue in exactly the same way until you stop just at the top of your moon, or you can stop just before. I would say probably 5 wraps around the moon minimum, ensuring that your wraps towards the end are significantly smaller, and that is what will hold your moon in position. So I'm just going to do 1 more wrap around the moon at the top side here, and then I'll continue moving around in both directions off screen. So we need to bring the tail all the way over the surface of the moon, down through the very centre of the whole thing. Make sure that all of your wraps are sitting exactly where they're supposed to be, and then apply that tension so that the moon is captured really neatly and there's no gapping or bagging. Again, you don't have to have the wraps all the way around. There can be spaces with naked frame between them. If I show you the sample piece, then you'll see that there are naked sections of that frame wire. If you want to wrap all the way around, you absolutely can. There's no law against it, but you will need slightly more than 24 inches of that fine or 0.6 22 gauge wire. So just bear that in mind when you're trimming away. I'm going to continue in this direction, and again in the opposite direction with the slightly trickier bead setting. The reason I started in the middle is because the first time I did this design yesterday, when I was exploring this, it all kind of spooted out of shape. Everything was really tricky. So in order to make it slightly easier and to capture the moon more successfully, I chose to start wrapping in the middle. So I've added beads all the way around the outside, and I've got 5 passes of wire going across the surface of that crescent moon. What I'm going to do now is add a few more beads up on the opposite side in the gap between the horns of the crescent moon, and I'll just show you how to achieve that now. Just at the top of the horn there, I finished off with 3 visible wraps after my last bead. If you've got space between where you want to hang your moon from, and I'm thinking I'm going to hang it from the top of the upper horn, so that works for me, but you can obviously add more beads and wraps around if you need to. So on this side, the gap between the 2 horns of the crescent moon, if I was to go for 3 wraps a bead, 3 wraps and a bead, then it would look really odd given the spacing between these other bead positions. So what I would say is hit the camera first and then continue wrapping until you have an approximately similar distance as you have between the last two beads. So I will just keep wrapping around and then I will add a bead around here, and I think probably that will be enough, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beads on this one, and I think there are 9 on the slightly smaller but closer together obsidian moon. So you have options about how you can go for that, but like I say, I'm going to probably put one in the middle there and then see how I feel. I may add another one and I'll let you see that in just a moment. I've added one more bead and then a bunch of wraps in between, and now I'm going to go for a very simple to create bail. So just decide whether you want quite a short one or quite a long one. What I'm going to do is turn the wire at the back up so that it becomes that 12 o'clock position, like so. And then I'm going to bring the other wire around, and it doesn't really matter which one goes where, as long as you've got one going up and the second one will go all the way around it. So let's get a nice sharp angle just at the top here, and I'm going to grip across the second wire. I'm going to firmly hold that whilst I draw the tail of wire all the way around. I'm just going to push that quite firmly so that we get a loop around that upright wire. I'm then going to just very softly squeeze that together so that it starts to move around. Now you'll need quite a good grip strength for this bit because we're working with that heavier 1.25 or 16 gauge wire. I'm going to use my nail to help me hold this in position whilst I draw that tail around the upright bail wire. So that is quite a strong pull. You can use a set of pliers just to help you tidy those wraps up if they come astray, and you can go for as simple or as complex a bail as you like. If you would like to see this type of bail in the future, let me know in the comments below and I'll create that as a future tutorial. For right now, I think I'm just going to continue wrapping a little bit further up before creating a simple wrapped loop up at the top, and then just trimming my wires away. So let's just give that a bit of a hold, take those wires around a few more times, and then we will just create a forwards bend on the upright. Let's pull that down out of the way for a second and grab those bail makers. So you can create whatever size bail you fancy, really, whatever's suitable for the kind of chain you're looking to wear with it. I'm going to draw that all the way around. And then I'll simply wrap around the remainder of that naked part, the upright bail wire, and then I can decide whether I want to have spirals on front and back, or one spiral moving upwards, or one spiral moving downwards, or make it nice and neat and tidy and no spirals at all. So if I do want spirals, because my wires are coming together, there's space for one more wrap. Because I've got 2 different lengths of wire remaining, I will probably grip that upright section and use the longer wire to infill. So what I think I might do is just take that across the back there, get that nice and neat and tidy, trim one of those wires away. I'll take that longer one away. That's still a useful piece of wire. Please don't dispose of them, especially in this heavier gauge. Get this nice and neat and tidy, and then I will bring this other wire across to the front and finish off with a spiral that will sit over the top of my bail. So just make sure that that's nice and neat and tidy. Give it something of a squish and a squeeze until you fit that all in. If I hold that across the wire, and then I can come back in with some round nose pliers and create a spiral to sit over the surface. I'll take a photograph of both of those on the outro screen so you can see the 2 different projects together. So I hope that you have enjoyed the Suspended Crescent Moon Pendant tutorial today, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see in future. All the best. Bye for now.